From the moment we are born, life seems to place us on a treadmill of endless striving. We seek comfort, success, love, recognition, chasing goals like mirages on the desert horizon. Each time we reach one, another appears, further away, calling us forward, yet never truly satisfying. Beneath all our ambitions, all our fears, all our struggles, a silent yearning persists, a longing not for more, but for something deeper, something lasting, something real. This yearning is the ancient call of the soul for moksha, liberation. Moksha is not merely an escape from suffering. It is not a prize handed down by some external power. It is the soul's natural state, hidden beneath the layers of illusion and forgetfulness. The Vedic sages taught that true freedom is not something to be attained. It is something to be remembered, something to be realized. At the core of existence, beyond all names and forms, beyond all cycles of birth and death, you are already free, already whole, already infinite. Moksha is the awakening to this truth. It is the end of identification with the transient and the beginning of life rooted in the eternal. But how did the ancient seers come to know this? How did the concept of moksha emerge from the depths of human consciousness? The origins of moksha trace back to the earliest layers of Vedic wisdom, to the Rig Veda, where the seeds of the idea are hidden in hymns about the nature of existence and the yearning for union with the cosmic order. Later, in the Upanishads, the philosophical culmination of the Vedic tradition, moksha became the central aim of life. Not pleasure, not power, not even virtue for its own sake, but freedom. Freedom from ignorance, freedom from bondage, freedom from the endless cycle of samsara, birth, death, and rebirth. The sages saw that suffering arises from one root cause, avidya, ignorance. Ignorance of who we truly are. Ignorance that mistakes the temporary for the eternal, the fleeting for the real. Because of this ignorance, we cling to possessions, titles, relationships, and identities, believing they will bring lasting fulfillment. But they cannot. They are like trying to hold water in a clenched fist. The tighter we grip, the faster it slips away. Moksha is the end of this futile struggle. It is the realization that we are not the body, not the mind, not the fleeting roles we play. We are the eternal self, the Atman, untouched by time, untouched by change, untouched by death. This realization does not come through belief alone. It comes through direct experience, through profound inner transformation. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it is written, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art, meaning the infinite reality you seek is not somewhere else. It is your own essence. It is who you have always been. Moksha is awakening from the dream of separation. It is seeing through the illusions of ego and fear. It is recognizing that all beings are expressions of the same undivided consciousness. This is why the sages described moksha not as a destination to be reached, but as a homecoming, a return to what has always been, a dropping of the masks, a dissolving of the veils. The path to moksha is not about gaining something new. It is about shedding what is false. It is about letting go of the endless identifications that keep us bound to suffering. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad teaches, when all desires clinging to the heart are gone, the mortal becomes immortal, and here attains Brahman. This is the heart of moksha. Freedom not from life, but from attachment. Freedom not from action, but from bondage to the fruits of action. Freedom not from love, but from the fear that corrupts love. Moksha is not an escape from the world. It is a new way of being in the world, a way of moving through life with full presence, full compassion, full wisdom, yet without being ensnared by its illusions. The one who realizes moksha walks among people yet sees no enemies, works yet remains untouched by anxiety, loves yet clings to nothing. This is not cold detachment. It is the highest love. A love so pure that it seeks nothing in return. A love rooted not in need, but in fullness. Thus, moksha is both the goal of life and the liberation within life. It is the final flowering of the soul, the blossoming of consciousness into its fullest expression, the realization that the kingdom of heaven, the nirvana beyond sorrow, the supreme freedom, was never outside, it was always within. The Vedas teach that moksha is not reserved for saints or mystics alone. It is the birthright of every being. No matter how lost you feel, no matter how heavy the chains of past karma may seem, you are never beyond redemption. You are never separate from the light. You are never truly bound. The journey to moksha is the journey of remembrance, the remembrance of your eternal, indestructible, radiant self. And once you glimpse even a sliver of that truth, nothing, not death, not fear, not loss, can ever bind you again. You are that. You have always been that. You will always be that. The chains were never real. The prison walls were made of dreams. And freedom is who you are. If moksha, true freedom, is our birthright, then why does it feel so distant? Why do we live bound by fear, sorrow, and longing? The ancient sages answered with profound simplicity, because we are trapped in illusion. In Sanskrit, this illusion is called Maya. Maya is not just deception by others, it is the inner deception, the mistaken belief that the temporary is eternal, the fleeting is substantial, the surface is the truth. Maya is the great magician. She weaves a mesmerizing tapestry of forms, names, and experiences. We become enchanted, believing that what we see, hear, and touch is all there is. We identify with our bodies, forgetting the soul that animates them. We cling to our possessions, forgetting their impermanence. We chase success and status, forgetting that no title can define our infinite spirit. Caught in this web, we suffer. Not because life is cruel, but because we mistake shadows for substance. The sages taught that three great illusions bind the soul. 1. Avidya, ignorance. At the root of all bondage is ignorance, the forgetting of our true nature. We believe we are separate, isolated beings, vulnerable and alone in a vast, uncaring universe. From this false belief springs fear, desire, anger, jealousy, and grief. Ignorance is not merely lack of information. It is a blindness of the heart, a forgetting of the infinite consciousness that lives within us and around us. It is like a man born in a palace who, forgetting his heritage, wanders homeless through the streets, begging for crumbs. The journey to moksha begins with the burning away of avidya through self-inquiry, meditation, and the awakening of wisdom. 2. Raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion. From ignorance arise two powerful forces: raga, attachment to pleasure; dvesha, aversion to pain. We crave what brings temporary satisfaction. We resist what brings temporary discomfort. Thus, we are endlessly pushed and pulled, tossed about by the shifting winds of experience. We are happy when praised, miserable when criticized, joyful when gaining, bitter when losing, secure when loved, devastated when rejected. Our inner peace rises and falls with the ever-changing tides of external circumstances. The sages likened this to a person chained by invisible ropes, dancing helplessly to the tunes of fortune and misfortune. True freedom comes when we see beyond this game, when we cease clinging to the pleasant and resisting the unpleasant, when we meet all experiences with the same calm, clear heart. 3. Asmita, false identification. Perhaps the most insidious illusion is asmita, the false identification with the ego self. We believe, I am this body. I am this name. I am this role, this story, this personality. But these are garments the soul wears for a time, not the essence of who we are. The body ages, the story changes, the roles rise and fall. Yet something remains unchanged through it all, the pure, silent witness within. Asmita makes us forget the witness and cling to the mask. It makes us fear death, cling to possessions, and seek validation from others. It is the root of pride, shame, fear, and desire, the root of suffering itself. When asmita dissolves, the true self shines forth like the sun emerging from behind the clouds. The gentle art of seeing through illusion. The sages did not condemn Maya. They recognized it as part of the divine play, Lila. The purpose is not to hate the world or withdraw from it in bitterness. The purpose is to see clearly, to enjoy the beauty of form without becoming enslaved by it. A flower blooms and fades. A sunset blazes and disappears. A loved one smiles and one day says goodbye. Nothing lasts, and yet everything is sacred. When we see the world as a dance of appearances, not as ultimate reality, we can participate with joy, compassion, and freedom. We love without clinging. We act without attachment. We live without fear. This clarity, this vision beyond illusion, is the doorway to moksha. Awakening from the dream. Imagine awakening from a long, vivid dream. Within the dream, you struggled, wept, fought, and feared. But upon awakening, you realize none of it could touch your real self. None of it diminished who you truly are. Similarly, awakening from Maya reveals that the soul, the Atman, was never truly touched by sorrow, never truly bound by fear, never truly diminished by loss. You are the silent witness, the eternal presence, the luminous awareness behind all experience. Moksha is awakening from the dream, not abandoning life, but living it fully, consciously, freely, as a soul dancing lightly through the fields of form. The illusions of avidya, raga, dvesha, and asmita lose their power when met with the light of awareness. And as they fall away, the soul remembers its original nature, free, radiant, boundless. This is the promise of the ancient sages. This is the destiny of every soul. This is the silent song that calls you even now. Awaken, see clearly, and walk the path of freedom. Freedom does not fall from the sky. It is not granted by fate, luck, or divine favoritism. Freedom is cultivated step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice. The sages of the Upanishads mapped a clear and luminous path to inner liberation, a path that anyone, anywhere, at any time can walk. The journey is not outward. It is not about traveling to sacred mountains or far-off temples. It is the most intimate journey possible, the journey inward, the journey home. The path to moksha begins with self-inquiry. 1. Self-inquiry, Jnana Yoga. Self-inquiry is the courageous act of questioning everything you have been told about who you are. It is the deep, persistent asking, who am I? Am I this body? Am I these thoughts? Am I these emotions? When you turn attention inward, beyond the layers of personality, memory, and identity, you begin to taste the silent presence beneath it all, the pure awareness that watches but is never touched. This is not a matter of belief. It is direct experience, an awakening to the fact that your essence is infinite, unchanging, free. The path of Jnana Yoga, the yoga of wisdom, guides you to strip away the false and reveal the real. The ancient teaching is simple but profound. Neti neti. Not this, not this. Not the body, not the mind, not the emotions, not the roles, not the fears, not the desires. When all that you are not falls away, what remains is what you truly are, silent, luminous being. 2. Loving devotion, Bhakti Yoga. The second great path is the path of love, Bhakti Yoga. Where wisdom peels away illusion, love melts the heart's hardness and dissolves the ego's walls. Bhakti is not about blind belief. It is about surrendering the separate self in devotion to the infinite. Whether through prayer, chanting, silent adoration, or acts of service, the soul opens itself to the divine mystery that beats within all things. In Bhakti, the seeker no longer tries to conquer the world, but falls humbly into the arms of the beloved, whether seen as God, the self, or pure existence. This surrender is not weakness. It is supreme strength. It is the strength to love without conditions, to serve without ego, to live without fear. Through Bhakti, the hardened walls of separation crumble, and the soul awakens to its oneness with all life. 3. Selfless action, Karma Yoga. The third path is the path of action, Karma Yoga. It teaches that liberation is not found by fleeing life, but by engaging fully in life without attachment to results. Act with love, act with integrity, act with mindfulness. But release the craving for reward, release the fear of failure, release the chains of I, me, mine. When action is offered as a sacred gift, without clinging to outcomes, it purifies the heart and burns away the seeds of bondage. Every task, no matter how small, becomes an act of worship. Every moment, no matter how ordinary, becomes holy ground. Through Karma Yoga, the soul realizes that it is not the doer, but the witness, the conduit, the dancer moved by the dance of life. 4. Deep meditation, Dhyana Yoga. The fourth path is the path of meditation, Dhyana Yoga. Silence is not an absence. It is a presence, vast, vibrant, alive. In meditation, the mind's chatter subsides. The waves of thought grow still, and the deep ocean of being is revealed. Meditation is not about fighting the mind, but about gently resting awareness beyond it. It is sitting in the silent witness, allowing thoughts to come and go, like clouds drifting across an endless sky. Through consistent practice, the false identifications loosen, the ego's grip weakens, and the radiant light of the self shines forth. Dhyana Yoga polishes the mirror of consciousness until it reflects only the pure, formless light of existence. Walking the path. These four paths, wisdom, love, action, and meditation, are not rigid alternatives. They are woven together, like streams converging into a single mighty river. Some souls are drawn more to one path than another, but ultimately, all paths lead to the same ocean, the ocean of freedom, peace, and bliss. You do not need to abandon your life to walk the path. You do not need to wait for some future perfection. The journey begins here, where you are, with the life you have, with the longing in your heart. Each breath, each step, each moment of sincerity moves you closer to home. The sages taught, step by step, with pure mind and open heart, the soul finds its way back to the source. It does not matter how many times you stumble. It does not matter how far you feel you have strayed. The call to freedom never leaves you. The light within never goes out. And every time you turn inward, every time you choose awareness over ignorance, love over fear, truth over illusion, you take another step toward liberation. The journey to moksha is not a race. It is a remembering, a homecoming, a blossoming of the soul's original light. You are not moving towards something outside you. You are uncovering what has always been within. The path is not far. The path is you. and you are already standing on sacred ground. We often imagine freedom, true liberation, as some distant peak, a prize to be won after years of arduous struggle. We think, one day, when I am wiser, stronger, purer, then I will be free. But the sages tell us a radical truth. Freedom is not a future achievement. Freedom is a present reality, hidden in plain sight. The light you seek is already shining within you. The door to liberation is not locked. It was never locked. The only barrier is the mind's insistence that freedom lies somewhere else, somewhere other than here, sometime other than now. When you release that illusion, you realize you are already standing in the kingdom of heaven. You are already touching nirvana with every breath. You are already bathing in the infinite ocean of moksha. The task is not to create freedom. The task is to recognize it, to wake up from the dream of separation. Freedom begins with presence. Presence is the gateway. Right now, in this very moment, can you feel the aliveness that is not a thought, not a memory, not a plan? It is simple, it is silent, it is immediate. When you rest in presence, even for a few seconds, you step outside the endless cycle of craving and aversion. You are no longer chasing or resisting. You are simply being. And in that being, there is peace, there is clarity, there is freedom. Freedom is not found in the future. It is found in the depth of now. Living without attachment. Freedom does not mean you stop caring about life. It means you stop clinging. You can love deeply without being possessed by love. You can work passionately without being imprisoned by ambition. You can walk through joy and sorrow alike with an open, fearless heart. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, "Be steadfast in yoga, O Arjuna. Perform your duty and abandon all attachment to success or failure." Such evenness of mind is called yoga. To live in freedom is to act fully, love fully, serve fully, without tying your happiness to outcomes beyond your control. It is to trust the river of life, even when it carries you through unknown waters. Freedom is recognizing what you are not. Much of spiritual growth is simply unlearning. Unlearning the false stories you have believed about yourself. Unlearning the idea that you are your fears, your wounds, your failures. Unlearning the belief that you are separate from life, from others, from the divine. You are not the passing clouds of thought. You are the sky. You are not the shifting waves of emotion. You are the ocean beneath. You are not the ever-changing story of me. You are the silent, shining awareness in which all stories arise and fade. When you see clearly what you are not, what you are shines by itself. Every moment is a door. Every breath, every thought, every act of kindness, every moment of stillness is a door to liberation. You do not need to renounce the world. You need to renounce only the false belief that you are separate from it. You do not need to wait for enlightenment. You need only to turn inward and notice. The light is already here. It was never absent. The mind will protest, but I still feel pain. I still make mistakes. I still feel fear. And that is okay. Freedom does not mean the absence of human experience. It means no longer being defined by it. Pain may arise, but it no longer imprisons you. Fear may whisper, but it no longer commands you. Desires may come and go, but they no longer rule you. You remain anchored in the silent, spacious presence that is your true nature. Living as freedom. The one who has tasted true freedom walks lightly through the world. They are not concerned with proving their worth because they know they are already whole. They are not obsessed with gaining or losing because they know nothing real can be taken from them. They do not retreat from life, but embrace it fully, with a heart open like the sky. Their joy is not dependent on circumstances. Their peace is not shaken by change. Their love is not dimmed by disappointment. This is the life of moksha, not somewhere far away, not after death, but here, now, in this very moment of being. The invitation. You do not need to climb mountains of effort to reach this freedom. You need only to pause, to breathe, to notice the light that has always been burning within you. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not unworthy. You are the pure, radiant self, dreaming a dream of separation. And now, it is time to awaken. Come home. Come home to the freedom that has never left you. Live your life as a dance of freedom. Walk your path as a song of joy. Let every step, every breath, every moment be a celebration of the infinite light that you are. You are not becoming free. You are discovering that you have always been free. And that discovery begins now. Beneath all the layers of thought, emotion, memory, and identity, there is a stillness that does not move, a silence that does not break, a presence that does not fade. This is the eternal self, the Atman, the luminous core of your being. You have never been apart from it. You have only been dreaming that you were. The journey of moksha, liberation, is not a journey of becoming something new. It is the journey of returning to what you have always been, returning to what can never be lost. Peeling away the false. The ego mind clings to roles and stories. I am this profession. I am this relationship. I am this success, this failure, this history. But when the storms of life tear away these masks, something remains, something unbroken, something untouched by time, untouched by circumstance. That something is you, the real you, the eternal self. The sages of the Upanishads whispered this truth. You are that. Tattvam asi. You are not a fleeting personality. You are the light that sees through all personalities. You are not a passing wave. You are the infinite ocean beneath. The self is ever free. The eternal self does not gain freedom. It is freedom. It does not seek love. It is love. It does not search for truth. It is truth. The only bondage is forgetting. The only liberation is remembering. You are not broken pieces to be fixed. You are a whole being, awakening from the dream of separation. When you remember this, when you truly see it, fear vanishes. Loneliness dissolves. Struggle falls away. You live from a deep, unshakable peace. A peace that does not depend on what happens or does not happen. A peace that flows from the very heart of existence itself. Living as the self. Living as the self means seeing through the passing drama of life without withdrawing from it. You still love, you still work, you still face challenges and changes. But you know that none of these touch your real nature. You can enjoy the play of life without becoming lost in the play. You can participate fully, love deeply, serve sincerely, all while resting in the silent, unshakable center of being. This is true freedom, not escaping life, but living it from the boundless heart of existence. Freedom is your nature. You do not have to wait to return to the self. You do not have to be perfect to remember who you are. Right now, behind the thoughts, behind the sensations, behind the emotions, there is a space of pure being. Silent, vast, alive. Rest there. Touch it. Let it touch you. This is not a doing. This is a relaxing into what already is. No effort is needed, only sincerity, only openness, only a willingness to see what has always been true. The journey that never began. In the deepest sense, the journey to moksha is a journey that never began. For you have always been the eternal self. The dream of separation was a play, a dance, a story told by consciousness to itself. Now you are waking up. Now you are smiling at the dream, knowing you were never truly lost. You are the light behind the clouds, the silence beneath the noise, the infinite behind the form. You are that. You have always been that. You will always be that.